Man, I should have offered you some chips
What?
before we start. Hold on, can you give me some chips?
Why are you, boy? Go on.
I'm sorry, I ain't had breakfast this morning.
Ain't
Here you
nobody
go.
studying you. Or your chips.
Dougie is hilarious, y'all.
Honey,
Dougie,
we
stay
have a
ready.
special Memorial Day episode for you guys, honey. We are outside with the people.
We are at the park.
Honey, staring at the water
Not
and the boats.
Yeah, we not
With a
out there
little
on the
chip.
boats.
That's good to me. Well, friend, how you been? I know we just talked not too long ago, but still.
Yes. Well, I'm glad to kind of. I'm excited to be out here with. I just watched the episode, so I said since it's a special Memorial Day episode, I'm just gonna go off the dome today.
All right.
But what I can say is this episode is. This was the best episode by far.
You think so?
I do, because
This episode was loaded. I'm not gonna lie.
It had me cackling from beginning to end. And
Episode 12, honey.
but listen, I was cleaning this morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, got up and started cleaning, and I listened to Drew Sidora's album.
I bet you did, honey. What's the?
Hey, I'm not even.
What's the rating? Because you know I still didn't listen to it. Okay.
I'm not even gonna cap. Like, she's talented.
Well, yes, she can sing. For sure.
And I was thinking, I was like, okay, this is really good. Like, and mind you, like I said, I'll listen to anything anyone suggests to me, and it's just because I'm so interested in their lives that I wasn't able to watch. I mean, like, you know, I'm not really going out listening to their music, you know, unless it's Escape, of course, you know.
Okay, well, period.
But you know, just not interested in listening. But I did listen to it this morning, and I was like, I wonder. Now, this has not changed my whole perspective, but like, how much of this album was actually Drew, and how much of it was actually Dennis? Because now I'm seeing it as this was a favor for Dennis just to be associated with this album. Because,
well, yes. What did he say? The music ain't that great. I listen it on the iPod.
but we not in the studio. I was like, okay, this is getting kind of, Dennis, what are you doing? Like, this was not it. This was good work. And you could tell Drew put in the work in the studio.
Okay. You know what? Just because you said that, I'm going to give it a fair chance. And I'm actually going to go through the album start to finish. Okay, I don't know why I haven't given it a fair chance. I think something in me just can't take Drew serious.
I get it. Yes.
I don't know what it is about Drew. I just can't. But you know what? You said it's good, and honey, she's promoting it on the show, so I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna listen. I'll report back next week.
And I guess you know, I'm kind of late to the game when it comes to listening to music. You know, because my music is what I listen to, unless, like I said, suggest something. But I still haven't listened to Candace's album.
Okay. I'm sorry, it's tea. It's my jam.
Really?
Yeah, I can't lie.
Well,
it's good.
I said
in the aspect of housewives, really, like related music, Candace. Period.
Now I'm gonna get your. Should I wait to get your opinion, or should I listen to the album?
Just listen to the album.
Okay.
And you report back, because you know what, you're an R&B fan, as am I. So I think you'll really enjoy it.
Okay.
You just give it a chance, though.
Okay. Well, and then what else is going on?
So you want to go and get into the episode?
Yeah.
Let's start with the Shamia and Kelly opening scene when they meet at Shamia's palace, honey, at the pool.
Oh, yes.
So Shamia's in the back with her champagne and her Dior down. She's such a Dior Barbie. I live for her. And then Kelly comes, and you know, and that scene, I'll just say I love Shamia and Kelly's energy.
Yeah.
They're both such fun party girls.
They definitely seem like the type of people I would hang out with in real life.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And then it was so, I don't want to say it was necessarily cringy to see Shamia call Kelly best friend, because I was like, ooh.
Oh, no.
it's a
See,
little early, don't you think? I don't know.
I'm that type of person. If I meet,
I mean, I am to a sense, but it just, I think maybe it's the editing and the timing of it, because the last episode you was just beefing with your real best friend, and
Yeah.
then you're opening up the next episode with Kelly best friend. I'm kind of like, ooh.
Okay,
But you know
okay.
production, you know Bravo production. So
because I was thinking when she said that, I guess I was kind of like, okay, she's explaining why she's saying this.
No, for sure.
You know, so I'm like, okay, but like day to day, if I see somebody and I'm meeting them, I'll be like, oh, hey, friend.
No, yeah.
I don't know about best friend, but
and I think that's what I'm saying, like the whole best friend aspect of it. But I mean, I definitely feel like I can genuinely tell that they have a friendship, that they've built a friendship, and not like off the disdain of like any other housewives. So that was good to see. So I really enjoyed that.
and it brought me back to what you said about Britt and Kelly's relationship. And I was like, okay, well, they found a friend in each other that really pushes each other just to be vocal about how they feel and stuff.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm liking this, Shamia.
I
And
enjoyed it too.
yeah.
And then so they announced that they're gonna do a girls trip to Grenada, which
Listen,
I thought was so fun of them to be like the co-host of that.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I was
Okay, I
just
thought
about
you
to
had
say I didn't listen. I don't know where Grenada is, so I'm.
Well, according to Kelly, it's in the Caribbean.
Okay.
It's the island of spice.
Oh, okay.
Whatever that means.
I see where Kelly, her connect. She's going through a divorce and
Yes.
everything. So and it's been 2 years. Who wants to go through a divorce for 2 years? And you're still
That's a
young.
long
She's
time.
she looks good.
She looks great.
So if she got the connect over there in Grenada, and she want to spice it up.
Honey, slap your mommy down.
I'm sure she could use those spices in her cookbook.
Hello, honey, and a little chicken and waffle recipe.
Yeah, I'm not mad
So
at it.
yeah, that they said they were going to Grenada, sorry, and all the girls are going, and they're also going to give back, which I thought was a good thing as well.
yeah.
Like, let's bring some humanity to the show, because it's been a little barbaric this season, just a little bit. So yes. And then, speaking of going places, Portia is house hunting.
I didn't know how to feel about it. The scene, it was just kind of like, okay, you're going to find a home so you can film in.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually gonna. This was actually a positive aspect for me, this show. I feel like usually I get on here and I tear Portia down. Today I'm going to really give Portia a little bit of finger claps, just a little bit. And I say that because I'm actually glad that she's taking initiative to go ahead and move on with her life and further the process of continuing, because it seemed for a minute there that she was like, well, Simon is, and I don't want to tell PJ he's not coming back, so I'm going to text him, blah, blah, blah. So I'm glad to see that she's, actually out finding a home.
Yeah. But, something about Miss Diane, I don't...
She's nice nasty to me. Just like, oh, okay.
Now, I'm not talking about nobody's mother now. I'm not talking about nobody's mama.
Well, no,
But...
I mean, how do you watch the episode? I don't know.
There it is. It's just Miss Diane kind of is one of those people that is babying Portia.
For sure.
Like the other people around her, they don't really hold her accountable for the things that
Well, and then also she feels like a yes man to me. Like, Portia's never wrong. Her mom was always going to say, oh, girl, she almost operates as like a Lauren, like a friend, instead of like a mama. Like, girl, now that wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? Or you need to be da da da. I don't know.
And especially the relationship that their parents have had. I know, like, it would just seem that Miss Diana would kind of take a step back with them and their relationship.
For sure.
So yeah.
And so she kept talking about. I love that she talked about. This time around, through this divorce, she wants to make sure that she comes out of it still on top. Like, she said she learned a lot from the divorce with Cordell, and how she trusted him to handle all the business and da da da. And then when it finally ended, she was back at square one, like she left with nothing.
Mm.
And so she talked about this time, she really wants to focus on making sure her businesses are healthy,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that PJ is taken care of, because she feels like this time she has a lot to lose,
Mm-hmm.
because she can't afford to screw up. She has a daughter, she still has all the stuff that she has to upkeep.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good that they went through the whole flashback of her and Cordell and that divorce and stuff. So I thought that was good to see. I'm actually glad that Portia came to a point where she's like, okay, we gotta take this bull by the horns and
Mm-hmm.
let's get up out of here. I thought that was good. So,
And really just do it right next time.
yeah.
I hate to. I'm sorry. Yeah, Portia, we're giving you your flowers, but sis.
No, but you're still right. No, no, you're right. I'm with you when you're right. She still, needed to do some things better.
So,
But I'm just glad that she's in a position to
Yeah.
recuperate
Definitely.
a lot better this time, honey. Because last time my sister was
down
that
bad.
took her from housewife to hot girl.
Ugh.
Honey, she ain't trust no man again since Cordell. What? And then so it transitions into. Okay, I want to stop here real quick because I want to keep you about this.
Oh Lord.
Kelly and the girls at the spa, honey, when they showed the masseuse giving Cha Cha the dog a lymphatic massage facial, I screamed bloody murder.
This is what I'm
I
saying.
said, this is so funny to me.
This is what I'm saying. Kelly is that person that just. This is what you do when you're black and you got money.
I mean,
You can do that for the people you love, including your pets.
Cha Cha lives a better life than me. I've never had a lymphatic massage. I said, and honey, Cha Cha did not bark. She did not move. She did not groan. She was sitting right there in that little bitty bed,
I just
getting her
love it.
facial.
I love it.
I live for that. That was so funny to me. So then it goes into her best friends scene where they Shamia meets what's his face? What's that dude's name? Is it Big Tigger or something like that? The radio personality
Oh yeah.
meets him at his radio station, and they doing Shamia's radio interview. And he's talking about the song that Shamia has.
And yeah. Shamia's real. She
This
catches
is where we do a full 180. Honey, because when I tell you that Shamia got in that radio and ran Drew down.
And it's not even, I think the anger is misplaced now because now we see they're not friends on social media.
Yes.
So obviously they hugged it out last episode, and we know that going forward there's something else that's going to happen.
Yes.
So the only thing that she could really hang on was Drew saying she was a lapdog. I hope that you see that Drew is really on your side by just kind of pushing you. Everybody's pushing you to speak up for yourself.
Well, and here's the thing, right? Okay. I guess I was going to say, why is it specifically Drew that she's coming for when really everybody kind of piggybacked on the whole lapdog allegation? So it's like you're kind of really giving Drew a lot, but shouldn't you kind of be dividing that up between everybody? Because everybody kind of called you a lapdog a little bit.
Well, I think
They may have insinuated it and not directly said lapdog like Drew did, but the overall consensus was that you were a lapdog. No shade. Like, I don't know.
I think maybe because maybe around that time they were starting to do interviews, and she just so happened to see Drew call her a lapdog.
Yeah.
And she just maybe caught that heat because, she's now doing a radio interview, so they're going around saying things.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was funny. She when she threw she threw that little shade at Drew. I caught that. That was good.
But
when he said, and another housewife is doing music too or something, and then he said, and then she's like, who or something? He said Drew, and then she said, oh, I've never heard it on this station. And then she said, never had. When I tell you, I screamed. I said, Shamia really turned up her shady card, and
Yeah.
it really made me feel like she was like a silent assassin. Like,
Oh,
she
yeah.
won't. She'll give it when it needs to be gave, but she won't just. She'll clock in almost like an Angela, but Angela be a little bit lethal. No shade.
I was about to say because I have never seen Shamia get so quick, except for with Phaedra, but I feel like that was premeditated.
Mm-hmm.
But when she was going toe to toe with Angela, that was quick.
Yeah, that was good to me. So I just thought it was funny because usually Shamia is like so sister girl, peace, love,
Mm-hmm.
and light, and da da da. And then and then we really didn't get to see her shady side because she was running around behind Portia. So
Mm-hmm.
now that we get to see that from her, I'm kind of just like, oh, Shamia, you got this in you. Like I didn't know she was giving that. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was a funny thing. Yes, that was that, and I really cackled at that. I thought that was funny. Um, and then we go into Brit with her husband. They have a brief scene where they're in the kitchen in their robes and they're sipping on their rosé.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be honest. Up until that scene, I feel like I forgot about Brit on the cast. I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah.
feel like I haven't seen a lot of her since the trip to Nashville. I don't know. When she popped up, I was kind of like, oh girl, yeah, you are on the cast a little bit.
Yeah. I had the
I don't
same
know.
thought.
I
She's
don't remember the
just
last time I really seen her or really heard much from her.
she's not really fitting.
I mean, ever since the whole Kenya stuff died down, she's been low key MIA. Maybe she hasn't been serving anything, so production hasn't really been like editing her in the episodes. I'm not sure. I hope she's doing good though. I mean, we'll get into. Was that shady? Um, we'll get into her more later, but
Oh goodness. I think
and honey,
that's
she's doing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that later on when we talk about her party, that's when we really just
Yes,
see.
honey. G&A Junior.
Oh gosh, she had to reach deep down in her bag for.
G&A's little cousin. Honey, she said, I got to do something quick. This insurance agency ain't doing it for me. She had to pull something out that coat closet real quick to keep her spot on the show. G&A little cousin.
Hey, but
Stamp
it was quick though. It was quick.
I mean, listen, if it works, it works. What's it called? Bare and naked. So I mean, we'll get more into that later, but yes, so that is her truth with that, her and her husband.
My
Allegedly.
goodness.
Let
it play out on the show.
Speaking of wife and husband, the next scene we have is Miss and Mr. and Mrs. Oakley doing some status updates on Mrs. Oakley's rental property, investment properties.
Ooh.
So they go to one house. I believe this house was like a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath.
Mm-hmm.
Listed it like, I think she said it was $499,000.
Mm-hmm.
And they walk in the home, and the home is not up to code.
It was a beautiful home.
It was a beautiful home.
Yeah.
But it was not in the fashion that she wanted it done.
Mm-hmm.
So, Charles is sitting back letting Angela fuss, honey. And you see this? He didn't do this right. So then they show the scene of the dude that she talked to,
Mm-hmm.
who was supposed to be doing the improvements.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not trusting no man in no buff glasses with a too little multicolored shirt on telling me, I promise you, I'ma get you give me this, I'ma turn this house around, and as soon as I get it done, I can 99.9% guarantee you this house will be sold within 10 days. And she goes into the house, and honey, that house is toe up from, a blanket on over the window. The trim on the door was showing. She was just not happy, and I hate that for her, because she said that she is $2 million
Oh my God.
in debt. I said, I had to pause the episode and take a deep breath. I said, girl.
Charles. I know that Charles loves Angela. It's evident. We don't have to go back and forth about it because I really think he's in it for the long haul. I hope they can get out of this debt. He might have to start coaching some teams or something or
something. Because and I feel like maybe I'm just delusional, but I feel like maybe this is a part of the reason why we have that whole kind of, does he love her, does he not type of energy with Charles and Angela. He probably really, honey, is this NASCAR 500 or what is the days? Sorry. I mean, girl. I mean,
Oh
the
my
people that's
goodness.
outside today, honey, they got the hot rods on the road.
Dougie literally has me crying in real
What was
life.
I saying? Okay. Well, honey, there goes the motorcycle. 1 second. Bear with us. Commercial break. Okay. Um. So I feel like that's the reason why we have this whole does he love her, does he not situation going on, because maybe he really is just like stressed or tired or really just hating the fact that he's somewhere $2 million in debt in investment properties.
Oof.
Because no shade, I'm sure that's a large strain in a relationship.
Yeah.
$2 million is not a small chunk of change.
Mm-mm. And
So
I was thinking as she was saying that, I said, Angela might just have a secure spot for another season.
for sure.
She's
Oh, I definitely feel like
bringing.
she's gonna come back for sure.
Yeah. So, sis, get that check. Get that check.
I
Flip that.
mean, flip the
Do it. Do it.
houses.
What you got to do.
And you know,
Get
and
these houses off your hands, okay? Atlanta, I know people are going to be buying investment properties. I don't know what. Listen, real
and she
estate.
said she has like 7 of them. That's a lot of properties.
And then her mom is moving out of one of the homes that she bought.
Like, and speaking of that,
Oh,
Angela rehashes the whole mom and Charles debacle, and ultimately ends up apologizing to Charles because she said that she really didn't take the time out to hear Charles for his side of the situation. And so, now that she's talked to the mom more and really got the truth out of her about, what exactly went on and what all happened between them or whatever, ultimately Charles was not in the wrong. So she apologized and said, that she wants him to know that she cares and stuff like that. And
I'm loving Angela so much more. She's just giving authentic, raw,
and a wife, like a wife,
breaking down, being vulnerable. Just it takes a lot to kind of deal with, because I know her family wasn't prepared about
sure.
her just kind of being pushed into the limelight. Yeah, her family wasn't ready for that. So when money is involved, family dynamics change, and Angela seems like that person, which is why I think she was pushing Shamia, because Angela's that person that, despite what you do to her, she's going to take care of the people that she loves. So, I think in the midst of her having family issues, maybe she thought that buying them a home would kind of patch that over. Mom is
and
moving
she's
out.
grown and woman enough to put her pride aside and admit like when she's wrong. And I thought that was a big thing, especially for her and Charles, because honey, they swear up and down they don't love each other. Something's going on. So I thought that was a real moment for them. And, she asked for a hug, and Charles gave her a hug. So I thought that was good. I thought that was beautiful to see, because we don't really see a lot of relationship, intimate moments this season, because there's not really many husbands around. Ooh. Gerald is with Shamia, but he's not on camera. Britt and her husband, we don't really see them much. Kelly's divorcing, Portia's divorcing. So yeah, it's good to see them. And speaking of them, I really enjoyed seeing them be a united front when Angela told Charles that they got invited to Britt Edie's event.
Oh yeah.
And Britt had some things to say about the Oakleys.
Oh goodness.
So
well, when it did the little flashback of what they said to each other, the whole baby situation thing, it's kind of like done. That was years ago. I'm not really worried about that. But for Britt to bring it back up, you kind of in deep right now. So I would tread lightly with Angela.
Yeah, only because it's tired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we've already been through this. You know what I'm saying? And in typical Brit fashion, she's trying to grab for straws because there's nothing else that she can really, And I'm not saying Angela's perfect, but in the line of housewives,
yeah,
even if there is some imperfection, she's gonna speak up and handle her business. You know what I'm saying? And address it and move on with life. She doesn't have nothing to hide, or she doesn't have nothing to be dishonest about. And I feel like that's to Angela's advantage and Britt's disadvantage, because Britt, you tried to come in acting like perfect Barbie, and honey, that Kenya Moore pulled your card in the worst way. And so
Oh gosh, and we're about to see it all just unravel for Brit. We're not even there yet.
Yeah.
We're not even there
So
yet.
let's let's get to the meat and
We trucking
potatoes.
along.
But yes, so I enjoyed seeing them be united front when they
Mm-hmm.
discussed that because like I said, we need to see more of that.
Yeah.
Charles is like, if you say hi to her, then that's a hi on behalf of both of us. Like I'm there
Oh.
because you asked me, because to be with you, I'm not really there to really focus on whatever she got going on or what she's saying. I'm not sweating it. I don't really care. I'm going because
Mm-hmm.
you're going. You speak, I speak. You don't speak. We gonna move. I'm gonna move how you move. We are friends. So I thought that
Right.
was beautiful to see. That's real love. That's love. They love each other, guys. That Charles loves him some Angela Oakley. So anyway, fast forward, we're gonna get into the nitty gritty here. We're gonna get into Miss Britt Edie's bare and naked event, the showdown of the episode. Well, yes, the showdown. Um,
Ooh.
so first, I have to do in my little corner fashion. I want to get into some fashions.
Okay. They was dressing.
I thought everybody looked good.
Yeah.
I thought everybody looked good. Angela looked good in her little body, skin tight, fitted. I thought that was cute. Shamia
Mm-hmm.
stays in a label. Balenciaga down. Was the heel Balenci? I have to look that up. I was kind of like, girl, why you got an alpaca on your
You
feet?
got that eye,
Yeah, but
G. You got that eye. Because I'm just looking like they all look great.
No, they all look good. I thought Kelly was cute with the little hat. I thought that was
Yeah,
very
that was-
like Elle Woods, kind of like, kind of school, not schoolgirl, but like, classy girl.
Mhm.
I thought that was cute. Britt looked cute with polka dots. That gave Country Club. So yes, everybody looked
And
good.
what was the name of the event?
Bare and naked.
No.
Oh, it was, what was it?
The
Country Club Realness.
Classic.
Country Club Classic. Something like that. So anyway, I want to start by saying that I'm actually glad that Bravo showed this scene
Mhm.
of the bare naked event because I feel like this kind of helped Britt reintroduce herself to the viewers in a more positive light. I feel like obviously she had a rough start,
Mhm.
so we all had kind of like written her off as like a girl. You're problematic. You know what I'm saying? You're loud. You're ghetto, or not ghetto, but like you're
Yeah.
just too much. So I feel like this kind of humanized her in a way.
Mhm.
Her to be able to see her like in her business bag and her grown. She was like, I want to have a grown woman event. We've done so many things and rambunctious, and I want us to do something like classy and demure. So I thought it was good to see. I thought it was good to see. Brit, that's what she said. Demure. I'm glad it was.
Demure.
Listen. I
Sorry.
can't with you. So yes, I'm glad that this gave her a little more lighthearted viewpoint. So long story short, who comes here? Kelly. They get there. Britt's freaking out because the event's not really set up how she wants it to, and
Oh.
the husband's like, just calm down,
Mhm.
trust the process. It's still early. Kelly shows up, gives Britt, a gift in Kelly fashion. I love that she does that. Anywhere she goes, she's never empty-handed. That's a great friend to me. Shamia shows up and they come in and then Britt takes them golfing
And Shamia's
in
like,
heels.
I would like to know more about what the event is about. Like,
Yeah, so everyone's obviously confused. There's not really any signage. There's not really any nothing. I don't, it's definitely unorganized.
I mean, I hollered the whole scene because just imagine you're golfing and you've got the right, you got the right attire on. You're out here with your golf buddies, big money out here on the golf course. And
Yeah.
you see a group of
Women on golf carts
in heels.
in mini dresses on a golf court, just
It's
horsing around.
It's insane.
They pull up on the little golf cart. Britt's about to give Kelly whiplash. I said, this is a mess. And then they're just out there they had a good time, though.
But
I
you
thought that
know,
was cute.
It reminded me of earlier Housewives where they were just kind of doing things in Atlanta, but it was intentional. This was so unintentional and funny and
No,
hilarious.
it was hilarious. the back of Shamia's heels is digging in the grass. She's like, "Are your heels digging in the grass?" I was like, "Yeah, mine are too." I'm like, "This is just
Messing up them
so."
people's good green
I mean,
grass,
just
good
tearing it
golf
up.
course.
So yeah, the event was. Uh, I mean, I have a few things in my notes. It's so much happened. I don't even. Okay, first, let me just start. Um. So anyway, they get back to the clubhouse, and the rest of the girls show up. Portia comes in true Portia fashion, and she's, well, what's going on? Where's everybody? Because she's always late. Period. Like I said last episode, that girl be late, and I do too. Let me stop now. Let me stop. Because
No,
one
no,
thing I'm gonna do
no,
is be
no,
late.
no,
No
no.
shade.
You see, I'm over here quiet.
I'm gonna be late somewhere, so I'm gonna hush up on that. And so yes, Portia sits down with Britt's little friend, and then she's like, "Well, I would love to know more what the event's about. It. What's going on?" And so Drew shows up, and I'm glad to see Portia and Drew spoke. I thought that was pretty good. And Portia actually initiated the conversation with Drew, which I thought was beautiful.
Yeah.
Even I don't know how genuine it was, but they spoke. I got to give claps where I give claps. And so the husbands were there, but they felt so that just felt
It felt so
empty to me. The men are being forced to sit with the women, and then the women are talking about women business, so they're both kind of just sitting there looking around like, like just extras. I don't. It kind of just felt just empty. So then the event was just so unorganized. Kelly, I'm not Kelly. Britt said that she wanted everyone who wasn't a housewife to be standing doing a cocktail hour situation, and the housewives were to come in and sit down at the table, and they were going to be served full entree meals. So only the housewives got entrees, and the rest of the guests had to go outside and do cocktail hour hors d'oeuvres.
Y'all see
So
why
I
I'm
was kind of
cracking
like,
up?
what? And then got upset because the caterer apparently was late to the event, and so when they came and set up the dinner space, they set up a dinner space for the whole group, like all the guests and the housewives. And Britt said, no, they were supposed to be doing cocktail hour, and the girls are supposed. I'm like, why would you have them doing two separate dining situations in the first place? Why? Why would
with
you
y'all
invite
in the
people to an
middle.
event and not have everybody do the same thing? What's the problem with everybody? So, like,
Unless you had a private room.
so long story short, everybody had to sit down and eat meals, like as it should be. Girl, like, what are we talking about? That just felt so. That was a little bit of a blonde moment for me from Britt. Like, girl, what sense does that make?
And
And
I said,
then
not that you. Oh, go
no,
ahead.
no, go ahead.
Not that you invite the guest list. You're inviting, and hey, everybody got to do what they got to do. But you're inviting bloggers.
Ain't no shade. I thought they were paid extras. I thought they were just paid extras.
I'm trying to see.
I had no clue they were actual guests at the event. I thought maybe Bravo just asked some people off the street to like show up to this event and you get like a free meal or something. I mean, because they had no energy. Everybody was kind of looking around. They were confused too. Like, what is this for? Everybody was asking,
Everybody
like, what
was
is this
looking-
event? Like,
and it was crazy. Everybody was looking at them.
yeah,
The center
watching them
table.
eat at the table, and they were sitting around like, and then to add on to the confusion, the girls
goodness.
start eating because they're like, well, we're gonna eat real fast because we don't want to offend nobody. Anybody else gonna eat that? So I'm like, that's just so embarrassing. Like, that's just terrible. So then Britt finally gets up to do her introduction of what her brand is, what it is, what it was inspired by, blah, blah, blah. So basically, her Bare Naked brand or line is a shapewear brand that she is the owner, not co-owner, CEO, owner of. And so it was inspired by her when she got a BBL. And
Hold on,
after her.
I don't mean to cut you
No,
off.
you're fine.
But you saw that scene where they were at the pool, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say. When they would go back and just go back and watch.
Is the show
Open
bot
your-
still on?
Hey, listen, I ain't gonna say too much. That's what I'm gonna say.
That's what I'm gonna say. Word of the day, botched. So anyway, she said the line was inspired by when she went and got a BBL a few years ago, and they put when she was in recovery after the surgery, they put her in. She said this tight shape where, what she meant the word for it is faja. A faja shape, shapewear,
Mm-hmm.
and so she basically wanted to create something similar to that, something that will sculpt the body like a BBL or but not be as restricting. She wants something that's gonna be comfortable, like a comfortable faja, yeah, like shape. You get what I'm saying? So Skims on steroids, I guess is what we're Skims on steroids is like what we're looking for.
So school projects.
Yes.
That's what we're doing now.
AliExpress,
Yeah.
Temu,
Alibaba.
yeah, Sheen, yeah, Amazon special.
Oh
So yes,
gosh.
that is the preface of her brand. So, honey, when Bare Naked drops, I hope I implore you all to go get some shapewear, honey. Get you a
Hopefully she
unofficial
has like
BBL.
bracelets or something on the website. Something that'll sell.
Yeah. I
I'll
caught
buy a
that.
bracelet.
I caught that. Something that'll sell is
That's all
crazy.
I could wear.
So, well, yes. Well, hey, I might give me one. I don't know, Brett. You got a man's line.
Let me model for you.
Anyway, so yes, and so then first, and I want to get into this before we get into the showdown. Cynthia,
Cynthia cracks me up.
honey, Cynthia
Not that
walks
Cynthia
in.
just flew in, hopped
Honey,
off the plane, and said,
Cynthia,
She said, I ain't got time for this. This is a
Cynthia
circus.
Bailey walks in, honey. All the first thing I heard when I seen her. The first thing I heard when I seen Cynthia Bailey was, honey, Beyonce Renaissance. She goes, unique. And then, honey, you see Cynthia in this silver, silver jumpsuit. I said, Cynthia is giving, coffee, babe. Honey, she is giving me Renaissance down. I said, Cynthia, this silver sequin, I lived. I said, honey, I can't even be mad at her.
You think about it. The dress code
The
was already up there, but Cynthia's not going to come just regular now. She went above and beyond, and it was just like, oh my gosh,
And
this
Cynthia
is so
was
misplaced.
serving me 80s go-go, like Dream Girls. One night only. Honey, that's what it was giving me. I live. I just couldn't do nothing
And then
but
when
laugh,
she
honey.
left, the disco went with her.
The disco was with her.
Renaissance, everything.
No, I'm
Just-
like, honey, her and the horse. Everybody's outside. Do you hear me?
oh goodness.
So anyway, let's get into the nitty gritty of it all. So, the girls start talking, and Britt gives them gifts. Let's start with that. Britt gives gifts.
Oh god.
So everybody gets a brown cardboard box. No branding, no stickers.
Just
There was no, according to Shamia, these are her words, the box was bare and naked. Because there was no okay, honey, the NASCAR 500 is back. There was no postcard, there was no tissue paper, there was no little paper grass. It was literally just a brown cardboard box with a piece of black shapewear in it. I don't think she asked for sizes because Portia got a small. Angela got an extra large. And Angela was offended. So obviously she didn't ask for size. So it's just like, Britt, baby, okay.
And Angela clocked her when she said she must have got it confused with the size of her cat's mouth. I said, Angela, you are just too good for
Honey,
these.
she gets the shade of Sid crown to me this
Yes,
season.
yes.
I have to give her that. I live for that. I thought that was good.
And the timing, production is so Shady. The
Like,
timing right after she said it. Here they.
oh, she gave me extra large.
Goodness.
So I thought that was a funny moment. So then after Britt does that and they open their gifts and everybody's okay, this is cute. Da, 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 da. Apparently the husbands leave because they're probably like, yeah, let's move on. Um, and then Britt gets up from her seat at the end of the table and comes down to where. Oh no, I'm sorry. Britt's husband left. Charles is still next to Angela. Um,
Hello.
Okay, yeah, period. Uh, you're stupid. So yes, so basically, Britt comes to the end of the table where Angela and Charles are and sits in front of them, and so she decides that she wants to mingle with the couple, and so she's like, hi, hi Angela, hi Charles, how's the event, are you guys enjoying yourselves, da 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 da. And so Charles automatically, his disposition is like, girl, if you don't get out of my face, you know what I'm saying, you can tell what he's on. And Angela, in true Angela fashion, is gonna play cute, so she's, oh Britt, yes, and da 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 da, this is a good event, thank you for having us, and da da da. And so then Angela leans up in her seat and she addresses the rest of the table and she's like, and so Charles doesn't, out of the sky blue, Charles doesn't have any maybe babies. So everybody's kind of gagged like, oh, well, I think Portia even said, well, this is a classy dinner or something like that. I was like,
Listen, Angela,
my sister couldn't even segue. She just had to go ahead and just call the elephant out the room.
but she
said, okay.
saw the event as a mess box, so she just
went ahead and just threw it.
Like, okay, there's already a fire.
Like,
let me just go ahead and add to it.
So
Get it
she
warmed
just went
up.
ahead and just called it out. Charles doesn't have any baby. So everybody was kind of like, okay, well, yes. So then, of course, that opened the door for the mess to walk in the room, honey. Here, what Portia say? Nene has left the building. I now usher in Nene. Honey, so the mess walks in the room, has a seat. So then they start going over that, and so Britt's well, no, he doesn't have any babies, and I'm not one of his, his hoes. And so Charles is like, yeah, because I ain't got no hoes, and Britt's like, well, no, I'm just saying because Angela said that, da 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 da. So they get into all that again. I'm kind of like, oh, here we go.
I'm like, Britt, I wouldn't have even repeated that.
I would have just left it at, well, yes, he doesn't have any, side babies, blah, 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 and then just moved on. Like, when you went back and forth, you opened up the gates for y'all to have a tennis match, and Angela's gonna win. I don't even know why you even play with her.
Now.
So they have that back and forth, and Charles is, he's kind of just trying to dismiss it. No, you good. Like, he's just like, wrap it up. I don't want to go through this again. I'm not here for the mess. So they do that. So then, I can remember exactly how it was so much happening. Everybody was having conversations.
It was a lot going on.
So then it transitions into Drew having a conversation, I think with Britt. Because I think Britt was like, okay, well, since we're here and we're, kind of like putting everything on the table, or it was Drew. Drew initiated with Britt and was like, okay, well, since we're here, da da da. Britt, I know me and you had a little back and forth, but I want to say thank you for inviting me to the event, da 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 da. And so they hash out whatever they got going on, and then Kelly, in true Kelly fashion, chimes in and is like, yes, you all definitely need to have a conversation, and you need to be honest, or something to that effect, because Drew is the resident liar on Housewives of Atlanta. So
is she really like? I think what? I think it was the magic of that album this morning.
it gave you a change of heart.
But Drew really is not. She lied just about as much as everybody, all the other girls. Like, ain't nobody calling out Portia, which is why, they throwing it all on Shamia.
Yeah.
Drew's lying just as much as anybody else. But, I mean, do you really give it weight for the Michael Jordan thing? They keep referring to that because that's what happened this season. Now, past seasons, I don't know.
Drew definitely lies. Okay, she does.
Drew, I tried to.
Well, no. No. Okay, let me say this.
Tried to be on your side.
No, everybody lies.
Right.
But that Drew lies over unnecessary stuff, because there, even though it was a small, stupid, minute lie, girl, you didn't have to lie about Michael Jordan being your cousin. Like, girl, why would you even? You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just. I'm sorry, no, that was stupid. You know what I'm saying?
And then
And then
I
the
saw
whole
this.
dentist. And I'm okay. We don't know the. We still trying to figure out that, but is he really working with you, or is he? You know, I just don't know. I don't know. I feel like she just lies just to lie. Like,
Lord, yeah.
so I don't know. So Kelly and Drew end up having a back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
and so Kelly is telling Drew, and you need to be honest, and da da da, and Drew is, I am being honest, so I know, so they do that, and I'm like, here we go with this, man. It's just, it was a lot of cat fighting this
Yeah.
meat and potatoes right here. So then they do that, and then Shamia let her rip. Let her rip. So she chimes in and she's like, "Oh, we want to talk about, talk about a lie. Da, 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 da. Well, you and the lapdog." So then Shamia opens up the gate about the lapdog, and I'm like, here we,
Shamia.
deep sigh.
Oh, I just want to hug you so tight because
And my thing is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
it's just like in this moment, we already know what's going to play out, and she's just going so hard for her friend. She's going so hard to be defending her because she really has no beef with Drew. I mean, the music thing, but like I
But
said,
that's not even beef. You know what I'm saying?
mm-mm,
Y'all both sing.
mm-hmm,
There's enough room for both of y'all to be artists, and no shade. Shimmy, Drew has projects. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
Shimmy, you only have what, one or two songs, so it's not even necessarily like, girl, you Beyonce, and she's, y'all both are. It's an even playing field right now, and I like Never Had, but Never Had didn't like break the charts or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like, what I'm saying, it ain't like you a lot better.
yeah,
Y'all both, it's an even playing field. That's just true tea. So I don't understand why Shamia feels like that's the whole drag, or the whole music thing is a
mm-hmm,
drag for Drew. This even playing field to me. And either way it goes, Shamia, and what makes it worse is that she feeds into it. If you know you're not a lap dog, if you feel like you're not a lap dog, don't give it so much energy. Every time you see
exactly.
Drew, you're on the radio, lap dog, and then you're in person at the event, lap dog. So it's like every time you do it, it does nothing but validate her point.
Mm-hmm.
You are upset about a comment, you know what I'm saying? That really wasn't even. I mean, it was about you, but it was kind of off the heels of getting at Portia,
Yeah.
and then Portia's not discussing it. Drew's moved on. Everybody's moved on, and you're stuck on this lapdog comment. Like, girl, just pack it up. I'm just kind of like, girl, just move on.
And
So yeah,
it's
she
so
opens up that
bad,
door.
so bad to see her go down, down, down because she did the dirt for Portia when she brought Ralph to dinner. Then we just defending the whole lapdog thing. It's like,
It's just you're adding evidence to her comment.
mm,
So then they get into a whole back and forth. And I don't even get into all of that, and Shamia's losing it, and she's having. You remember that scene with Sheree and Marlo when they was
oh,
was it Africa or something, and they was in that house, and they was. That's what it felt like to me when they was doing all that. And so Shamia's making noises, and Drew's like, "How old are we? Are we?" And
they're
then
barking.
and then Shamia's like, "And human years a dog year." So I can't go there. I thought that was funny. I thought that was looking. That was funny.
Oh goodness! And then here we have
And and so she turns around and they end that scene. I was glad. Period. And then so to close out the episode,
Miss Britt Edie comes and saves the day with, if y'all trying to beef, if y'all trying to tussle, then y'all need to go outside of my event because
this is a classy
this is
country
a
club event,
classy
honey.
function.
Thank you. I agree with her. Because, I mean, it was already bad enough that the event didn't go how you wanted to. The last thing you need is a bunch of girls in here arguing, just adding to the ratchetness of it all.
Y'all,
So I get with it, honey.
this
I'm right.
whole
I'm with her when she's
scene,
right. It was a lot. That was a lot, okay?
This whole scene was a mess.
That was a lot.
And I said, if I was there, please escort me out. Show me to the nearest exit.
Yeah, honey.
Because what
I
is
would have been like
this?
Cynthia. Me and the disco ball would have been outside. Honey. No shade. That was a lot for me.
Oh, goodness.
So anyway, moving on
Mm-hmm.
from that train wreck of an event, we basically closed this episode with oh no, I'm sorry. We have a little in between with Drew at the attorney's office because she's signing a record deal,
Oh,
recording
yes.
deal. So I know you're
Yes.
happy.
Yes. And it's so crazy. I kept thinking, I'm so glad I listened to the album before this episode, because now I'm seeing like Drew really ain't all that bad.
She's really not, though.
She's just-
They make it seem like she's worse, but she's really not.
Now it ain't Beyonce level, but can tell she was consistent about, and it was layers.
Okay.
It wasn't just, simple beats. It was like, she had vocals on top of vocals,
Period.
I loved it. But
Okay.
yes, and then, her calling Dennis to clear up rumors.
The hot dog man.
Yes, because then again, like I said, how much of this was just for show? Like, she didn't need Dennis. Like, this music was good. I'm like, you could have did this without Dennis.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily feel like you owed him a call. You know what I'm saying? If you work with him, you work with him. The damage is already done. So I feel like whether you choose to work with him or not is your call. You don't necessarily have anything else to prove when it comes to you working with Dennis, because, girl, you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. And
She
then
signed.
she popped her little cognac and went on by her business.
Go, Drew.
Period. Congratulations on your deal, honey bun. I'm going to listen to your album when I get in the car. I will report back next week. All right. To close out the episode, honey. Dun, dun, dun. She's back.
Miss Ma'am is back.
Honey, Miss Shady Faye Faye has gotten her peach back, honey. She is back on the scene. And you know who goes and visits her?
Miss P.
Miss Portia herself pulls up to the good old nasty house, got through the gate, rings on the doorbell. Frickin' Frack is back.
Oh, and
Phaedra opens that door. I'm gonna be honest.
Uh-oh.
I am kind of excited to see them back together, only because they have such fun energy. I feel like, ooh,
Yeah. I'm excited.
I'm excited to have them back, but my eye is open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm peeking. I'm watching y'all because they both can be a little, and I think, Shamia and Portia are quote unquote in a good space, but I feel like that Phaedra knows how to pick a little bit, so she might, and does she like Shamia since the, yes, her and Shamia are okay.
I think I've seen pictures of them on Instagram in the same space. Of course, I never see Candy and Phaedra in the same space.
Yes.
But, I'm like, okay, they must.
They're probably just cordial.
Yeah.
So,
Well, she was kind of excited when she FaceTimed her.
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So, yes. So, I think they're okay. So, I'm glad to see them back together. Hopefully, this will help Portia, be a little more not so,
Mm-hmm.
annoying this season, because she has a friend that she really enjoys. And I think it was good to see her, like, smile and laugh and really, like, just have, like, a lot of unfiltered, just fun. Just her and Phaedra just. And so...
Now, what did you think about what did you think about how they reintroduced her to the show when they showed the flashbacks of?
I thought it was good. I thought it was, perfect. Simply because they covered all the bases. She immediately got into it. Last time I was here, I didn't leave in such a good space, blah, blah, blah. Then they flash back to the whole Candy situation. And then, then she goes to Apollo. And so I'm sure they'll show more of, like, what she's getting into, or, her and her kids as the season goes on. But I thought it was good they did, like, a little recap, because, no shade. New viewers, they may not necessarily know who Phaedra is or what she's here for, da-da-da. So I thought it was good. I thought they gave it just enough. They didn't need to do too much. Just give us a little time machine back, bring us back forward. Thank you. That was it. So,
I'm.
what'd you think?
I'm a Candy fan. I guess I'm never gonna be satisfied until I hear you say, yeah, I did Candy wrong, because she was a good friend to her.
Candy was a great friend.
I
Candy's a
would.
Taurus. I'm a Taurus. I feel your pain, Candy. Honey, we are just too loyal for our own good, sister.
That.
So Portia and Phaedra have a sit down. They do some catching up.
Hmm.
Portia talks about how excited she is to have Phaedra back in Atlanta, and so they immediately get into, are you dating? Are you dating? And Portia's like, no, and she's like, but I know you are. And Phaedra's like, oh well, yes, I have a 30-year-old, and so Portia's gagging, they gagging, doing all that, and so. Then they get into other, relationships and whoever else is on the cast. So Portia's kind of downloading Phaedra on the girls, and you know, Forja, what is it? Phaedra says that Britt is a lady of the town.
Ooh.
She
been
says
having, the people
that
calling now, or she been calling around.
well, honey, I could have sworn she was okay. Married to Meta. Okay. See, and that's let me anyway. So she calls Britt a lady of the town, and then she calls Kelly a garden home, and said that she enjoys short people.
They honestly look alike.
And she said that Shamia's been in the showroom.
Ooh.
So Phaedra's whole introduction has been passing out lashings, shady lashings. This person did. So I'm already like, Phaedra, you are in for a rude awakening, because my thing is, this new group of girls,
Just be ready, y'all.
they give it up.
Just be
They
ready.
I don't see many reservations, honey. They pull cards and they give it up. Y'all saw how Britt opened the season, so I would hate for Phaedra to really for my girl to have to really open up her warrior closet and pull out her pieces on Phaedra.
Ooh. And
If you know, you know.
and I just was kind of looking at. I was looking at it and I was like, oh my gosh, she really just said that.
And I'm that's why I was kind of like, Phaedra, you left in a bad space. You went to Married to Medicine, went over there and caused havoc, left in a bad space, and then you come back to Housewives for a second chance, and you start in a negative space, talking about everybody. You ain't even really met you've maybe met the girls in passing, but you haven't really like sat down, spent time with them, and you're automatically like, she's a hoe, she's short, like, I can't. This is a lot for me. So Portia's gagging with the mess while Phaedra's divvying out lashings. And, long story short, Portia calls Shamia, tells Phaedra we're going on this trip to Grenada. I want you to go. Get Shamia on the phone. Shamia brings Kelly on the phone. They both mutually agree that Phaedra can come to Grenada. And so they have a little kiki, hang up the phone. Phaedra is officially invited to Grenada with the rest of the girls.
I didn't. Okay.
Deep Negro spiritual sigh. All I hear is a dun dun dun,
And I just really am trying to figure out Portia. I don't know. I think we kind of already know they can be cordial in a room together, Phaedra and Shamia.
Yes.
But I don't know, y'all.
Something makes me feel like
that was a slap in the face to me.
and Phaedra are about to be tag teaming all these girls. That's my prediction. Phaedra's gonna sit around and be shady, and then it's gonna be Portia and Phaedra versus the girls.
It will work for her, but she's digging into the mess already.
Yeah, and Phaedra has something to prove. Because everybody's kind of asking, like, girl, you're hopping from show to show. Now you're back over here. Like, what are you over here for? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you bringing to the show? So she's not really she's in a relationship, allegedly. Let the mess begin. That's my final sentence. Let the mess begin. So
I can't wait until the next episode. But Dougie, this has been great. We just been chilling out here at the park.
Seriously.
It feels
beautiful.
Amazing. Well,
I'm glad.
Thank you again for Thank you for taking the lead today.
Well, I tried. I said I'm gonna give my friend a break today. I'm gonna take some notes and see what's going on. So yes, this was a good episode. I'm glad to be back. It's a perfect day to be outside, Memorial Day.
Yes.
Um,
And
we'll see you all
y'all,
next week.
yes. Bye bye.